Hello and welcome to Bleeding Tree Gaming. My name's Amy, aka Warpfiend, and today I am joined by...
Hello, I'm Luke, aka Mime.
And today we're talking about the latest of all the Age of Sigmar 4.0 faction focuses as they come, and it seems like they've broken the formula. I think we thought it would be one from each faction, and so far this is the week of Order.
Order.
So,
I thought for sure it was going to be one from each as far as they could do it, and then
yeah, well, we only had two. They might completely change it again, and it might be something different than Order coming up on tomorrow's one. But yeah, let's dive into it with Cities of Sigmar, which was the first one on Monday. And yeah, I think as an overview of the rules, it seems to be some nice little kind of lore summary at the start.
I'll say it's definitely another one of those armies I'm basically just looking at excuses not to buy into.
Yes, yeah, it's very tempting. Those models are gorgeous. But yeah, I think front and center on these, the battle traits, obviously they've listed battle traits first in everything, but I think they're really kind of important in particular for Cities of Sigmar, because they're basically orders that you can choose to give out, and each hero you have in the army can use one of these orders per turn.
Yeah, but it doesn't say anything about not the same unit receiving the order per turn.
Yeah, so you can potentially stack them on units.
Although, yeah, adding 3 inches of movement onto a unit and many heroes stacking that on sounds a bit FAQable.
Yes, quite possibly. So that's something you're going to have to watch out for pretty soon, I reckon. So basically, you also have ones that are kind of focused, that give advantages to certain species. So you have the human, the elf, and the warden one.
From my understanding of the current Cities of Sigmar book, I don't know the rules to the faction absolutely off the top of my head. So if I'm getting anything wrong, please just maybe point it out in the comments or something.
Yes, yeah, please let us know in the comments if anything's escaped or noticed.
It's an army I love the look of and want to start, but I don't know the rules too well on at the moment.
Yes.
My understanding at the moment is there's certain orders that are specific to certain races or something in the current book, whereas this one seems to have opened it up a bit more, but you get extra benefits from doing it on certain types of units.
So you can do the movement one on dwarves, but if you do it on humans, you can pick an extra unit to get 3 inches extra movement.
And Talia Verdra seems to have an extra ability on top of that, where she can double humans as well.
And for instance, the dwarf one, the target has strike last and ward 5 up for the rest of the turn, but if they're dwarden, subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks targeting them in combat.
Potentially make dwarfs a bit tankier. It's anyone's guess what the dwarden stats will actually be like for Cities of Sigmar in this edition.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a unit of dwarden that's basically your anvil unit that you let them charge against, you'll probably be wanting to use this.
Break yourselves against our wall. Again, though, just absolutely brilliant, thematic anti-charging kind of stuff, really.
Yes,
I mean, they're going to get charged. They're probably, but they're going to hold still with their 5-up ward and their -1 to hit bubble on them and everything.
The elf one, they add 1 to the attacks characteristic of the melee weapons.
Add 1 to hit rolls as well.
Yes, yeah, which could potentially make elven units quite stabby.
Again, my understanding of elven units at the minute, they have 1 million attacks each or something.
Yes.
So, not that number might be off by a little bit.
So I really like the shooting phase one. This isn't tied to a particular species, but if you target an enemy unit and you can give it strike last, basically.
It's a bit of an odd like role. I don't know if that's like different to what suppressing fire is currently or anything. I've definitely heard that as an order you can issue in the current book.
So you have to roll equal than or less to the number of models that were slain, which is yeah. So like the more models you've killed, the more likely it is to pop up. Basically,
as long as you killed one, you've always got a chance.
Yes, yeah.
The battle formation they have. Oh yeah, it's all to do with their shield walls and their fortified position on the Fusiliers and everyone.
Yes.
So basically, they can subtract one from the wound rolls for attacks that target them for the first while they're wholly within friendly territory. That's only in the first battle round as well, though.
Yes,
but still,
yes.
If someone's
like if the opponent goes first.
Yeah, if they could potentially turn one charge you, then you've got like a nice bit of a shield wall there again.
Now, that is that my understanding that could be melee or ranged attacks.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything. It just says from attacks. Like, normally it would specify melee or range, so that would be for everything.
So basically, they've got an extra kind of garrison against being just like shot off the board, or I know shooting a unit off the board is kind of rare in Age of Sigmar anyway. But it's nice.
From the sounds of it as well, Fortify I think knocks off a pip of rend against them.
Okay,
in both ranged and melee.
So definitely the first turn they're going to be hard to get, like just devastate initially before they get a chance to do anything.
And a spell that looks quite a tasty one if you can pop that off on the right unit.
Yep. So an extra dice of charge rolls that could be very handy.
I noticed there does seem to be quite a lot so far teased in this edition of either like things have 3d6 charge, or you can get someone to only have 1d6 on the charge. And
yes, I believe that's we're going to come to that later on.
Oh yeah, and then it gives the example there about like the counter charge ability as well, which charging someone on their own turn with a 3d6 charge sounds very fun.
Yes, lots of possibilities there. So we have the big mounted character, the Talia Vedra, the lioness.
She's a model that I desperately want the army for.
Yeah. So you basically have the ability to pick an additional unit while using your orders with her.
Which again, though, like what I was saying earlier, like if she does that movement one on a human unit, does that mean she could potentially do that to 4 units?
Yeah, I mean,
it might only just like limit it to 1 extra she can do too, but then that's still like 3 units instead of 1.
Yes, yeah, I'd say probably 3, but that's pretty powerful.
She got there. She's got
like a nice little trying to time those. So yeah, the other one's like a once per battle healing ability on units around her.
Oh yeah, and was it combined health of up to 3? So yeah, like you're getting a full buffed up new one of the cavaliers.
Yes, you could do it on those. And then there's also the once per turn against an enemy monster, you can give them strike last on a 3-up if they've charged you.
That's nice.
It's always nice to do that when you've got something big that's just charged in your face.
So you've charged me. Oh, what am I going to do? Scorpion Day.
Yeah. I see she's got a 6-up wounded. She's got 15 health, so it's one of the higher health characters that we've seen. There's quite a few of them have had lower health than that. So
it's looking a fairly decent stat line. I think at the moment she's like fairly good in combat and everything. But
yeah,
having that extra rend against monsters sounds really good.
Yes, definitely from the like whatever Griffin. What's the name of the monster that she's on? I can't remember. It's like some kind of lion thing.
That's some kind of manticore, isn't it?
Manticore, yes, yeah, that's the one.
Oh yeah, the Fusil Major. Fusil Major, sorry.
Yep, the guy sitting on the little crow's nest above the ogre. Yep, all looks good. Like I like the idea of marking targets.
Yeah. Very
so it's just +1 to hit roll.
Very parallel to the Warlock Engineer. In a way.
So when you don't move as well, you can get -1 from Rend, which is nice. Just park him up at the back to be spotting things for the archers. Much like the kind of role they've given the Skaven Engine Seer now, I think. Yeah.
Which, again, with that battle formation we saw, like he actually starts off with that fortified position.
And also having like anti-hero and auto wound on the ranged weapon.
But again, flat 2 and -2 round. That's if you can get the shots off on a hero, that's pretty good.
It's not bad, yeah.
You're potentially taking down a hero if you get through everything on there.
Oh, definitely.
Here we go. Here's the Free Guild Cavaliers.
Cavaliers, yep. So
we're going to finish the Cavaliers.
Little Nigel Thornberry there.
So they got nice +1 damage on the charge.
Yep, nice and simple.
I notice, horses. Well, they did mention in that preview article before they started doing all these that all horses as standard seem to hit on a 5+ now.
Yes,
we did see that with like the Slaves to Darkness Knights as well, didn't we?
That makes sense. And considering Free Guild Cavaliers, even more so than like just Chaos Knights, are supposed to be the basic knight on a horse. So it's nice to see they've got a simple profile. The charge thing is part of it.
That's it's pretty decent for like this edition kind of charge ability. It's still like doing a nice little mortal wound for each 4+. A lot of the charge abilities definitely have been toned down. It's going to be interesting to see whether ogres still apply to that or not.
There is some interesting stuff with charges to come though that I definitely want to discuss with the Sky Dwarfs. The Kharadron Overlords, yes. One day I will remember them.
Now we've got the trusty old steel helms, and they've got a very interesting little once per turn ability. So on a 3+ on an objective that they contest with no enemies contesting, they can sanctify it to give any Cities of Sigmar human unit contesting it a 5-up ward. Yeah,
this is really interesting. I really liked that when I flicked through these rules briefly. So yeah, it's just like you can literally like fortify the objective you're on.
Which what does it say? If your opponent gains control. Oh yeah, it's consecrated until an opponent gains control of it.
Yes.
So yeah, maybe Talia as well, because like it doesn't seem to say anything about like it has to be infantry or anything. Just says human. Talia could sit on there, and she could have a 5-up ward with her stat line.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I say even a monster trying to charge is potentially going to get strike last.
She doesn't have the infantry keyword though.
I know, but it doesn't say anything about. I think it just says Cities of Sigmar human unit.
Oh, sorry. Yes, you're right. Sorry, I don't know where I'd got infantry from. I thought it was in there.
I'll say it just seemed like it would be kind of like an infantry only type rule because it's pretty. It's pretty good being able to give a 5-up ward out to something.
So Cities of Sigmar that they also of course showed the spearhead stuff.
Yeah, the spearhead stuff every time is I quite like the Cities of Sigmar version of it because it isn't just basically a copy and paste of the regular army rule but watered down for spearhead. Theirs is just like a very sneaky like, I can score my objective and I can use the command ability from the card.
Yeah, I mean, this seems super useful. It's the same kind of like
Yeah,
fluff
it's
wrapping
same like
they give for it.
the order wise type thing, but like you know
Yes.
works in the setting of Spearhead a bit more, where there aren't really too many other rules.
Hmm. Yeah, well, you don't want too many other things to keep track of, but actually having some tricks with your battle cards and that.
Looking at some of those tactic cards when we got to play, though, I mean, like some of the commands you could actually do off them seem like they'd really help you out. Like being able
Oh,
to
yeah,
get the points and the benefit of that could be huge for them.
absolutely, yeah. Yeah, the battle tactic cards, as we discussed previously, just seemed yeah, all positive. I
Mm.
couldn't pick out any negatives from the small time that we had with them.
And then they just give us a little. We always just get like a little tease of one of the war scroll, like the watered down spearhead version of it, and
Yup, so you
yeah,
like kind of ground level cavalry hero here. Like again, we're seeing like 7 health. Sure.
he's all right. He's got a bit of a ranged attack that
Yep,
he can
yep.
shoot in combat. He's got
Hmm.
like a nice flat 2 damage weapon.
Yes, yes.
What has he got? And then he's got like a nice little thing where he can either return D3 slain models to a Steel Helms unit or add 3 to their control score.
Yeah,
Which both of
both of those
those
could be handy, yeah.
keeping your Steel Helms around sounds really good. Making them
Hmm.
better on an objective sounds really good. So
Very good, very good. So cities are definitely going to be interesting in the new edition.
oh, I
I'm
say I
very
literally
tempted to
sent you the
try them.
message the second I read this article saying like I might be buying that Spearhead box very soon.
Hmm. Yes, yes. I can see the temptation, to be honest.
I mean,
Anyway,
I say if you are a Cities of Sigmar player at the minute, how are you find? What do you think of these rules previews for them? Do they seem like the kind of
yeah,
fluff you were wanting for going into your army going into the next edition? Or?
absolutely. They're very much focused on the old stuff, and while we have had the rules for elves and dwarves, I'm sure there's some players out there who are
Hmm.
just like, let me use all my old style dwarves and elves. Different
I'd
rules for
really love
those.
them to refresh the dwarfs and the elf side of it as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
The humans have had some real good love. Now
Hmm.
spread that love around to the other.
Yes, yes. So moving on then, we had this just a short one with the Lord Vigilant that
Mhm.
obviously we've seen by now, and just giving
Yes.
like the War Scroll
Mhm.
basically.
It was quite nice because I say we only saw his war scroll in passing on intro day, so it's actually quite nice to have a good look at it now.
Yep,
This
yep.
whole article is timed as well with Emma's done a painting video on YouTube this week on how to paint him up.
Ah, right. Okay, I missed
I,
that one.
I say we were watching that over the weekend, both very excited to give it a try.
So yeah, first thing that's a little surprise, health is only 8. That's only 1 wound higher than the like basic human knight hero that
Yeah,
we just
yeah.
saw, which is
I
an
did.
interesting choice for somewhat like an immortal hero that's been killed loads and loads of times. But I think they have
I think that's
buffed
why
it
he
in
has
other
been killed so
ways.
many times. He just hasn't got enough health.
Yes, yes, that could be it. Yeah.
Do better, man. Do better.
Hmm.
But yeah, I was surprised as well, like because obviously we came in during the Skaven shooting phase, and this was the guy that was being aimed at with everything, and I was thinking, oh, okay, this Stormcast hero is just going to die before I get a chance to do anything with him.
Yep.
It's he does have a really good once per game ability there that you're hovering over right now though, because that
Yes,
fight
that is it.
twice was amazing when I.
Yes, so you give a unit within 12 inches fight twice. The first fight goes normally, and the second one has strike last on it. So you get to go in again at the end, basically. Which,
So I popped
if
that
you
on the.
know a unit's going to survive the fight,
Yeah, yeah.
that's where you want to use it.
Again, though, if you're using that battle formation where you can pick one unit each turn to get the 5-up ward, and you're trying to hedge your bets on that unit surviving to hit back a second time.
Yes.
Which I think I put it on the Reclusians, and that was just a spasm at bottom.
So compared to the what's it, Cavalier Marshal or whatever that guy's name was, I don't think this is a huge step up, but it's it's interesting. Like your big hero on the Griftstalker thing is not that much better, but fair enough. I hope it's balanced out in overall then.
I can't remember if the Lookout Sir rule, though. I don't know if it only applies to infantry units as well, which again, he could be in trouble if he's low wound count and can't really be Lookout Sir.
He's going to be sent back up to that Ruination Chamber.
Like Griftstalker's going to do nothing for your soul.
Moving on anyway, last of all, we had Kharadron Overlords earlier today.
I must admit, a lot of this is going to be me seeing this for kind of the first time properly. So
yes, I have had a read through this today.
I'm squinting into the camera. I'm appreciating the rules.
So we have some lovely art as usual, and some of the fluff information on them. But then we see the battle traits getting into it. So the first two you have are just your basic, your sky vessels can deep strike, basically. Then we have, this is very interesting, we have the transport one, because transport now happens at the start of the movement phase. When you've declared a non-charge move ability for a friendly sky vessel, you can pick a number of units up to that transport capacity that are wholly within 6 inches of it. Then you take your move with the sky vessel, and then you place them back down again on the other side. That unit then can't charge. So that's an interesting way of doing it. You can't just keep them in the vessel constantly.
It's quite a change because normally, like what we've seen of Kharadron Overlords, a lot of the play style is all of the units are inside the boats. You never see the unit unless the boat's destroyed. So I don't know how current Kharadron Overlords players are going to feel about it, really, but
it's going to make the units a lot more kind of vulnerable. But I think they've tried to kind of overcome that with this passive, which is just -1 to hit rolls when they're within 6 inches of the boat. So that's interesting.
I think it's like, are they just trying to create a proper kind of transportation rule? So they've just kind of come up with like, this is the battle traits for the army. So you don't get in the boat, but you get the movement of the boat.
Yeah, I think they don't want to like really extend it to the level where transports are so widespread that they're in the main rules, because it is like a particular like faction trait really for Kharadrons.
I had no idea there was even a rule where you had to like roll for people evacuating from stuff until we played that tournament back in January. It's like it just never came about in anything that I'd ever seen before.
So the battle formation that they show us is the Endroneers Guild, and basically you just get a second artifact of power, which is very interesting. Like reading these artifacts of power, they seem just like basic things that you want to happen.
I think this is probably the first time they've really shown us the artifacts as well in any of these.
We haven't seen any other artifacts. I've noticed this one, they've crossed out Arcana and Invocations because obviously they don't do magic and that. No. I'm wondering.
They're a very strange army in a game that's mainly about melee and magic. They shoot and don't cast.
So you just have the simple ones then. You can subtract 1 from the number of dice rolled on a charge for an enemy monster once per battle. That's cool.
That's very nice if you Because what is it? It's one per battle, any shooting or combat phase. So it is just in the shooting phase, you can see where the monster's lining up, and then you can just go, nope, you're not charging me.
You can also turn off a ward save for a unit.
Oh, that's huge, yeah.
Yep, and you can just unbind a spell instantly, like once per battle. So those are some interesting artifacts. I wonder what the other factions' artifacts are going to be like.
I mean, are they all going to be once per battle things like this, or actually, I think I've potentially seen some of the Skaven ones in the little showcase game that they did.
Yes.
I can't remember if the Skaven ones were particularly like once per battle ones off the top of my head or not. I do like that one though as well, like just turning off the ward save. I think it's kind of situational whether you are going up against an army that has wards or not, but just the fact that it's your shooting phase, you can just choose to take the ward away from what you're shooting at.
Yes, I do want to see the battle where they go up against Cities of Sigmar. Cities of Sigmar get onto the objective, turn themselves a ward save on, and then the Kharadron over will just turn it off.
Sorry. So the actual guy with the artifact has to be within 12 to get it off.
Yes.
It's doable.
Well, they've got movement. That's the thing.
Yeah, they certainly have movement.
So, we had a look at Brock Grungerson, the top hat wearing guy himself, and he looks a very cool character. Again, another 8 wounds, 12-inch movement, 3 up save. So very, very similar to the Lord Vigilant again.
I say that, but he's got infantry, so he can definitely be lookout third.
Yes. Now, obviously, his missile weapons are great. He's got the Grungson's boast with the larger range that's like Ren 2 and D3 plus 3 damage. So that's going to be nice to shoot off. And he's also got his smaller one, multi-shot one that he can fire in combat. And
it's
also
fairly decent, melee profile for
reasonable melee. It's 3s and 3s, 5 attacks, 2s and 2s. You can't go wrong with that. So, in terms of abilities, you can add one to the attack's characteristic of 2 friendly Skyfarer units within combat range. So, the ones around you will be hitting extra. You can use run and shoot or charge on sky vessels that are wholly within 24 inches of you.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yep. And also, you can fire his mustache, which I don't know if you could do previously, but I love that. Which is just pick an enemy unit in combat with it, roll a d3 on a 2+, inflict an amount of mortal damage equal to the roll. I love that. That's a lovely little one, like his little mustache guns.
Tactical defensive mustache.
Yes.
Oh no, it's a mustache mounted Aether Blast.
Yes.
Oh god.
I really do think that's a very characterful War Scroll, and like the way
no need for any more of these previous GW. He's won.
Yes.
He's won the War Scroll of the edition.
I love this War Scroll. It is great. Yeah. So moving on, like one of your boats now, the Arcanaut Frigate, I believe, is the medium boat. I think I can't remember the names of them. Sorry.
The frigate's the medium one. The Ironclad's the huge one.
That's it. Yes.
Have I got that right? The
I think
frigate
so.
the medium one? I can't remember what the small one's called off the top of my head now.
Oh god.
I'm pretty sure they've got less than 15 wounds.
Everyone knows them as the small, medium, and big boats. Like I don't think. Yeah. Never mind. So this one, 15 health on it, so a reasonable ability to take some damage.
3 up save on it as well. That's nice.
Yeah, and you see like the heavy sky cannon and the heavy skyhook have reasonably 24 inches we're seeing is fairly much maximum range in this. We're seeing like a couple of things skirting that.
Again, they're kind of on their like 4s to hit, which yeah. I think
That's
any lower
difficult.
than that and you wouldn't want to go against them at any point. Like.
Yes, that's fair, but they are quite good wounded on 2s and 3s there. Obviously, they've got a lot of attacks with boarding weapons in melee, but you probably don't want to be bringing them into melee anyway. So this one has the assault boat thing on, which I really like. So it's basically you can literally charge a unit into combat. Like it has to be within 6 inches of you at the start of the move. And then you drop them in combat and they have strike first.
Oh, that's nice, yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was really good. And this unit can transport up to 2 friendly infantry units with a combined model count of up to 12.
You can get some, put Mr. Mustachio in there and boosting up some of the other balloon guys.
Absolutely. Like Kharadron Overlords for dwarfs really have the kind of mobility that dwarfs technically lack usually.
And the firepower from Mustaches that most dwarfs dream of. All I want now is an entire KO army with just massive mustaches all over the boats.
Oh, yes.
All systems, full power.
We're building Kharadron Land, the ultimate city.
Oh, God. I'm going to rein myself back in from thinking about firepower on mustaches now.
Yes. So basically, it also has the bomb racks on it, which is roll 6 dice, and for every 4 up, it's a mortal damage. So yeah.
I'm not sure if that's like nerfed or anything from current rules or anything, but it still sounds all right.
Yeah,
still averaging about 3 mortal damage from it. So.
So next up we have the Sky Wardens, which are just the your flying basic guys, and here you can see 2 health, 4 up save, but obviously 12-inch move. So they're mobile, fairly average in
good shots, like crit 2 hits on a 2d6 attack weapon.
Yes.
That's pretty nice.
The ranged weapons are very good. The melee is like bog standard. Hitting on 3s and wounding on 3s, that's reasonable. And they get the mortals.
So you got that ability to boost up the amount of attacks they get, then there's more of a chance they can get that mortal damage off.
Yes. And they have this special ability, which I thought was really cool, time charges. So basically, if you're in combat with them, roll a d3 on a 2-up. Again, you inflict an amount of mortal damage equal to the roll, and they can immediately retreat without any mortal damage being taken.
That's very nice, yeah.
Yeah, so it's basically like you flip the mortal damage back on the enemy when you retreat, and you do it at the end of the turn instead of in your movement phase.
Anything to get yourself out of combat. I mean, they can still shoot in combat with one of their weapons, but they don't want to be locked in combat if they don't.
I mean, ideally, yes, you want to keep them out of combat, like peppering people with their weapons.
Well, I quite like that profile. It looks pretty nice.
Yep. Then you also have like the ground troops, the Grunstock Thunderers. Again, similar stat line. They're actually a bit worse in melee, but they've got a bit more option in their ranged weaponry.
Wait a minute. So if this unit has not used a move ability this turn...
Yeah, so
sounds interesting.
They get shoot in combat so long as they haven't moved that turn, basically.
So essentially, really all that means is if you've been charged and you've not retreated them out of combat, then they can still shoot into combat with all their weapons.
Yeah, with all the weapons. So like the mortar, the cannon, the rifle. Yep.
I could be completely wrong on that, and again, like if I am, please comment. It's like, but I think the only way that rule makes sense is if they are locked in combat and have chosen to stay in combat.
Yes, well, you'd assume so. Like, I guess if someone charged you in their turn and you were locked in combat at the start of it, you could just. They're not going to retreat. They're just going to fire all their guns where they are and mop up the rest in the actual combat phase.
Again, like if they're wholly within 6 inches of the boat's not necessarily in combat, but the boat's giving them -1 to be hit. Which that's quite interesting to make them survivable.
Yes, yeah. There's a lot of kind of cunning tactics you can use, and I think just getting you guys to stay alive while shooting as much as possible is going to be the real tactic with these.
I said they're an army where ward saves are fairly much non-existent across the board, as far as I'm aware. But their armor saves are all pretty good.
Yes, they've got like 3s and 4s across the board. It seems like, yeah. Okay, so moving on to the spearhead stuff. Now they showed this Skyhammer Task Force spearhead box. So you get this.
Is it just a miniature version of the transport rule for the main
fairly
army?
Much, yes. So it's slightly different. So if you declare a non-charge move for it again, you just pick a friendly infantry unit that is wholly within the combat range of this one. And not in combat to be transported. You remove them, and then you set them up when the frigate's finished its move. So
it's like less powerful than the main game one, but then again, you're also playing with less models, so it definitely makes sense to water it down that much.
You can only take the one unit. Presumably, I can't remember what's in there, but that's the Grunstock and the Sky Wardens or whatever they are.
Again, it's like it's a small board, and the frigate has 12-inch move, and then those guys can pile out within 6 of it. So,
Arcanaut Company, that's this one. Sorry, yeah, and this is just the ones with they've got the basic pistols, 4s and 4s, and that. So not going to be overwhelmingly powerful, but putting out a fairly good range, level of firepower.
That Skybite looks like it might be. I mean, it's only 2 attacks, but it's like it could do something occasionally.
So they have like the passive rule on them that just adds 1 to hit rolls for attacks that target a unit contesting an objective. That seems nice.
I just said attacks. That's like ranged as well.
Yeah. There's no clarification there.
That's pretty good. Like most of the guns hitting on freeze. Like because you can't all out attack in Spearhead.
Yes. So, I mean, considering that you've got a reasonable array of tools within the kind of Spearhead format to still be kind of like the shooting meta champions, basically.
It looks interesting. It definitely looks interesting. They've got a fairly cool looking Spearhead box, like just having that frigate in there.
Everyone loves the boats. You can't go wrong with them, really.
I love that white scheme, the white and gold scheme.
It's a cool one. Well, anyway, that's Kharadron then. So we've seen 2 order factions so far this week. What do you think we're going to see next? Are we going to get some chaos? Are we going to get some destruction, death, or more order?
Well, apparently we're getting Tzeentch tomorrow. Sorry.
Oh yes.
I think they might have updated it earlier.
Yes. I did see that. We have got Tzeentch later, so we know we're getting chaos. But what else do you think we're going to be getting? Let us know in the comments. Well, we've been Bleedy Tree Gaming. We'll be following more of Age of Sigmar 4.0 as it comes out. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
I shall be upgrading my moustache for full firepower.
Yes. All right then, take it easy, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.